Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Bidex. Oh well, if you are new here, thank you so much for stopping by. If your resin overeat and starts working, what exactly will you do? That is the result you're seeing on my table right here. You can see my resin became very hot, start smoking, and cure incorrectly. I was so scared. They said experience is the best teacher actually, but I would never pray that you experience things that happened to me. I got so scared. So in this video, we're going to be discussing what caused our resin to overeat in the first place and what can we actually do to stop this from happening when you are working with resin. And please don't forget to watch this video to the end. The last tip I shared in this video was exactly what happened to this resin mixture I was working on before it got cooked up. So please don't forget to watch this video to the end. So one of the reasons why resin overeat is when you allow your resin and that after mixing to sit down for a very long time. This can cause your resin to overeat and cure incorrectly. The best way to avoid that is don't mix large volume of resin at once. Mix your resin and nada as you need them. Because when you pile up so much quantity of resin like this, the temperature will increase gradually until it will overeat and cure incorrectly, just like this. Just like this. So the best is mix your resin as you need them. Another thing I would like to talk about is when you mix large quantity of resin, instead for you to allow it to just stay like that, what I usually do to avoid my resin to stay there for a very long time is to share my mixture into different cups. So all I need to do is pour here, then add the color I want to mix with it, and automatically that will gradually reduce the temperature that is building up here. That has always been very useful to me too. Another thing I used to do is to increase the surface area of the resin. What I usually do is to pour my resin into containers like this that have a larger surface area, and I can actually have some minutes to work with my resin without it getting overheated. That also reduces the temperature from building up like I have it here. The second thing I would like to talk about is temperature. When you work in a warm environment, your resin will cure faster. For example, if you work in a very hot afternoon when the temperature is very high, between 70 to 80 degrees Celsius is okay. But when it's more than that, you should expect that in the first place will reduce your working time, the curing time will be faster, and of course there's probability that your resin may cure incorrectly. What can we do in that kind of situation? The best is if you have a lot of things to cast, what I always suggest or what I always do is to start working when the temperature is still normal. For example, maybe in the morning. That kind of time, your resin will cure not so fast. Your curing time will not be as fast as when you work in the hot afternoon. That's what I usually do. And most of the time, I have more time to work with resin, especially in the morning. It has always been a good tip for me. Another tip I would like to give is when working with mold that have depth like this, the best is do multiple layers. You can actually pour to the depth of 1/8 of an inch into your mold. Then when you allow that to cure, you pour the next layer. The only disadvantage to that is that there's always a thin line in between the layers after your resin is cured. But for you to avoid that, you can actually pour the first layer and don't wait until the resin cure completely before you do the next layer. With this, you will be fine. Let me use this opportunity to say thank you so much to all my new subscribers. And if you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified whenever I release a new video. Another reason why our resin becomes overheat is when we use very hot water to warm our resin. It is good at sometimes to warm our resin before we start mixing so that it will actually reduce the bubble. The fact is it should not be very hot water. We don't want to boil our resin. Actually, we are not cooking our resin and we are not boiling it. What we actually want to do is just to take it from that cold temperature to a slightly warm temperature. So all you need is just slightly warm water to actually warm our resin up. My last tip is to avoid touching my resin either with my torch or my heat gun or even with my gas lighter when I notice that my resin temperature is already so high. Maybe for example, you notice some bubbles in your resin mixture. You just want to reduce it to a certain amount before you start pouring it into your mold. When you notice that the temperature of the mixture is already so much, that is not the time to use your heat gun and start, heating it up to reduce the bubbles, or using your torch or even your lighter. That is not the time. At that time, it's going to cure in the cup and it will cook up just like this. So whichever way you want to avoid over touching your resin when you know is unusually hot, the best thing to do at that time, try and pour it in the mold, then I use my toothpick to just pick out the bubbles in it. So that is not the time to start touching, to start pumping more temperature into it. It is very, very wrong. Thank you all, and also let me know if you have experienced any of this before. When you're working with your resin, you have issue with it, either overeating, smoking, or whichever one you have experienced before. Please don't forget to share the tip and let me know how you are able to work with it in case of another time. See you in my next one.